Good evening and welcome to our webinars. UTAR is a university which upholds learning, teaching, and research excellence. So today we are bringing you the topic, a psychological perspective on overcoming the challenges faced by the organizations during and after the pandemic. So this is the topic that we proudly invited the VIP guests from our Faculty of Art and Social Science. Those are from the IO Psychology specialized. And today we have the moderator, Mr. Tan Sun On, the head of programs of the Master of Psychology. And we have the speaker, Dr. Nurul Iman and Ms. Sangari. They are also from the Faculty of Art and Social Science. Later, Mr. Tan Sun On will give a deep introduction of our speaker, Dr. Nurul Iman and Ms. Sangari. And now let me go through an introduction of the Mr. Tan Sun On. Okay, this is the Mr. Tan background. He is our moderator today, and he's a head of programs of Master of Psychology, IO Psychology. And he obtained the Bachelor of Science Human Development at UPM and the Master of Science Development Psychology at UPM as well. And before we continue, would like to let you know that we have a Q&A sessions later on after we finish the forums. So if you have any questions to ask, you can just put the question all under the Q&A box. So later when we finish, we'll pick up some questions to answer accordingly. But because we have the limited hours, so maybe we are not able to answer all the questions. So maybe selected will be answered on air. And meantime, we are live in the Zoom. Also, we share live to our Facebook page, UTAR for you. So if you happen to have any friends that are not able to join us at the Zoom, they can actually join us at the Facebook page, UTAR for you. And no longer delay. So we are now invite Mr. Tan to host the webinar. Mr. Tan.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. So hi everyone, good evening to all of you. So my name is Tan Sun An, the head of program for Master of Psychology, Industrial and Organizational Psychology in Utah, and also the moderator for the webinar today. Okay, so regarding the topic of the discussion today, so first of all, we need to know about what are the introductions, why we need to have this webinar. Okay, so the outbreak of the coronavirus disease has actually created a huge impact all over the world, and it is still an ongoing crisis which has no concrete sign of stabilizations at the moment. So it started as a global health crisis, but developed into a devastating economic collapse in a very short period of time. So the onset of this crisis also has damaging effect on the people and organizations, as it has increased stress due to work from home initiative, reduction of pay, lack of resources and support, layoff, and so forth. It had a deep impact on employee well-being and affected businesses intensely in terms of cost and sustainability. So how to minimize the impact of this crisis on organizational performance, sustainability, and most importantly, on the employee? There are the main issues of concerns for every leader in organizations. Looking after business is very crucial, yet taking care of the main resource of its success, the people at work, is of utmost importance and highly regarded. We are slowly getting back to business and implementing various solutions. But how are we going to cope with the current changes? What are the potential issues concerned with employer and employees once we have come up with these challenging situations? Discover the possible options for these ongoing questions by joining our sharing session today. So today we're going to have the webinar on the topic sharing on a psychological perspective on overcoming challenges faced by organizations during and after the pandemic. So with that, allow me to introduce the two panel today. Okay, we have Dr. Nurul Iman Abdul Jalil. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology and Counseling, Faculty of Art and Social Science. Utah. She obtained her doctorate degree in management from University Technology Malaysia in 2017. Her area of expertise and also research interest is in the experimental study, irrational belief, rational emotive behavioral therapy, job stress, and modules development. Okay, with that also, we have our second panel today, Ms. Sangari Krishnan. She is currently a lecturer in the Department of Psychology and Counseling, Faculty of Art and Social Science, Utah. She graduated from the Master of Psychology, Industrial and Organizational Psychology from Utah in 2016. And currently she is pursuing her PhD in IO Psychology at University Science Malaysia Sabah, Okay, her area of expertise is in IO Psychology, job motivations, job satisfactions, organizational commitment, and turnover intention. Her area of interest is emotional exhaustion, employee reward, and creativity. She is also a certified trainer for Human Resource Development Fund. Okay, so with that, let's invite Dr. Nurul Iman to present her point of view on the challenges and solutions for employee during this critical time. Dr. Nurul Iman, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sun An. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Especially to Mr. Tan, Mr. Tam, Ms. Sangari, and the audience. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizer for inviting me. Okay. For this webinar. Okay. As mentioned by our moderator. Okay. For this topic, a psychological perspective on overcoming challenges faced by organizations during and after pandemic. Okay. My part will be on the employee parts. Okay. As we know that this pandemic, okay, this coronavirus, okay, this pandemic on COVID-19 had a great impact on the human well-being. And then, of course, it's related to the employees, okay? Employees who are a very important asset to and on any organization, okay? So before we, okay, so for my parts, I will divide into two, which is for the first part, I will talk about the challenges, and then the second part, how to overcome it, okay? Before we go to the challenge part, okay, actually, I want to show to you, okay, to the findings, okay, made by Department of Statistics Malaysia, okay, this is the special survey on effects of COVID-19 on economy and individuals, okay. Let us see, okay, we can see that most of the employee or most of the people actually, okay, they are having a financial impact, okay. Most of them are affected. Not only them, but us, okay, affected by the financial impact. And then, which is contribute to 52.6%. Okay, and then if we can see here, the employment, in terms of the employment, okay, impact on own account worker. Okay, 46.6%, okay, of employee lost their job. Okay, and then the balance, okay, 53.4% still working. However, we can see from this poster, okay, from this finding, we can see that 35.5% having decreasing in terms of their income. Okay, and then at the same time, okay, 94.8 income decrease, and then 35.5 income reduction more than 90%. Okay, so basically all people are affected, and then at the same time employees are affected also. And then this is the specific finding. Okay, this is the specific finding from the from Department of Statistics Malaysia, which they already produced it, which they put it in the PDF. Okay, in their website, which you can go. They try to come out. Okay, they come out with the statistic according to industry. Okay, the number of impact, and then how many people lost the job, and so on. Okay, you can see from, okay, and then at the same time, that what we see, the employee at the same time, actually during the pandemic, okay, there are also, okay, there are something happen, okay, when people need to be at home, okay, which actually the domestic violence cases increases, okay? This is the statistic by Women's Aid Organization, okay? Cases of physical emotional abuse has increased since the enforcement of the MCO on March 18. Okay, sorry, we can see here, actually, we can see the pattern, okay, from the pattern of the graph, okay, which from February, March, April, okay, the pattern are increased, okay, which WAO, okay, Women AIDS Organization, received lots of calls, 2, 3, 4 calls and message from women in distress during the 3rd week of April, okay, and then it fourfold increase compared to the average, okay, and then the report from the police also increase, okay, you can read from the New Straits Times paper, okay. Okay, and then another study, this is the worldwide study, okay, this is the international study where they, Jones, Bersin and her colleague, okay, do some study related to the employees, okay. They ask the questions to the employer actually, okay. What are the top issues on employees' mind, okay? Job security, personal health, childcare, homeschooling, personal finance, and so on. Okay, and then based on the finding, there are 4 top issues, okay, that related to the employee's mind. Means that employees, it means that same goes to me and then to other colleagues also, okay. We are thinking about the financial security, okay. Are we secured, okay? Are we going to receive the salary also during the MCO and after the MCO? Our financial affected or not, okay? And then because we know that some of employee, okay, some of the employee will, they need, their salary being cut, okay? And then the health and well-being, of course, you are afraid, you are being affected with the, the COVID and so on. The well-being itself, okay? And then the family, thinking of the family, and then the kids, okay? And then the productivity and work, because at the same time, you need to work, okay? You juggle with the families and the work, okay? And then another study, okay, which they did a study in order to see the in order to see how mental health during the COVID-19, okay? Based on the finding, okay, we can see that, okay, most of them, we can see the list of emotions actually, okay, what happened to the employee, what the employees experienced, okay. They are feeling anxious, okay, some of them are sad, some of them are fearful and angry, okay, maybe because of, it depends on the situation, maybe they are being terminated or what. So, by looking to this one, okay, I try to conclude that there are a few challenges, okay, that experienced by the employees, okay, during and after the pandemic itself, okay. First of all, okay, of course, now all the employees need to go back, okay, to the campus. For example, if for us, the lecturer, we need to go back to campus, and then for those who are working, they need to go to their workplace already. Okay, of course, they will feel some anxious or unsafe, okay, at work. And then some of them are refused to come to work. Okay, and then not only by that, not only feel anxious and unsafe, but at the same time, actually, most of the employees are worried about the financial, okay, because of, it can be that their spouse are being terminated, or maybe the cut of the salary, okay, and then at the same time, they need to sponsor their family and so on. And then beside that, they are worried about the financial health. Okay, what will happen? Okay, if the COVID-19 affect the family and so on. Okay, and then at the same time, of course, the employees nowadays feel uncomfortable, okay, with the position that they hold right now. Okay, because there are uncertainty whereby, by which they see around them, okay, experience, being terminated, okay, and then at the same time, cut off the salary and so on. So of course, it contribute to uncomfortable to the employee itself. Okay, and then some of the employee still working at home. Okay, okay, this especially, okay, when we talk about, because this topic is during and after, right? Okay, during the MCO, of course, the parents who have the children okay, the parents who have the children who school already, of course, they need to familiarize themselves, okay, with the teaching and online, okay, teaching and online for their small kids. Okay, it's not easy. They need to adjust to the new way of living. And then after the MCO, when they send their kids, okay, to the school and so on, they need to follow. They need to prepare their kids. Okay, they need to prepare their kids with the SOP. I mean, need to remind and so on. Okay, and then need to prepare. Some of them need to prepare their breakfast and so on, which actually add their work. Okay, and then those who are alone. Okay, for example, of course, during the MCO, all of us need to be at home, right? So we can see that okay, in the Facebook and so on, people are alone. Okay, I mean, most of the people who are alone and suffered, they feel isolated, and then they need someone. Okay, and then that part, okay, and then go to the other part, go to the other side, which those who lost family members, okay, of course, they will be grieving. Okay, and at the same time, they need to contribute. I mean, they need to work. Okay, and the other challenge is that which we can see before, the increasing of incident of domestic violence, child abuse, and elder abuse. Okay, and then another challenge, okay, because employees, I mean, people are having, I mean, we are experienced, I mean, there are too many types of people, okay, some of them, okay, another challenge will be those who are struggle, okay, with the addiction, might be relapse, okay, during or after the MCO itself, okay, because they need to make themselves calm, okay, and then at the same time, no one can monitor them, okay, and then there are also employees who are experience depression, okay, depression, hopelessness, and prolonged grief, okay, which it might lead to the thoughts of suicide, okay, and then if this one prolonged, okay, of course it will lead to absenteeism, okay, and then of course it will lead to affect the performance itself, okay, and then at the same time, as we know that we need to go back to the campus, to go back to the workplace, okay, then of course, okay, we cannot just simply go back. We need to follow the SOP, and then we need to follow the physical distancing, okay. So this is the new norms, okay. So which, of course, it affect, okay, our routines and so on, okay, and then affect our times also. For example, before this, if you, okay, after we go back, okay, after we back from home, okay, we go to the restaurant and so on, we can just wait. I mean, we can just immediately get. But however, nowadays we need to wait, okay, 5 until 10 minutes and so on, okay, in order to get it, okay. So basically, this is all the challenge, okay, for employees, which I can come out. Maybe you have your own challenge, okay, that maybe you can share with us, okay. So basically, I simplify it into 5 things, which it affect our health, social, how we social with others, okay, affect our mental, okay, in terms of our emotion and then our emotion, and of course the economy itself. Okay, now I would like to go to how can we overcome this, okay, how we can overcome this challenge, okay, for the employee, how the employee can overcome. This is for individual, individual solution, or maybe you and your families, okay, the basic one, okay, the simple one, which I believe that all of us can do that, can do this, okay. Okay, for the first one, okay, to those who are, now we know that some of the company are trying to terminate the employees, okay. So what can we do is that if we are worried that we are affected, please get the information, okay. Get information in terms of looking into unemployment, okay, temporary rent assistance, maybe utility payment relief, and other similar service that can help to assess available financial assistance. For example, moratorium, those who still need to continue the moratorium, then you can ask for it, okay, you can apply for it, get the information, you can Google it and so on. And then those, those who cannot handle your anxiety well, okay, please minimize time watching the news on the social media, okay, because by watching it too much or by hearing it too much, okay, it can lead us, okay, increase of fear, and it possible for us to quickly lose perspective and increase anxiety levels. Okay, try to minimize it if you easily affected by it. Okay, and then make sure you try to focus on the things you can control. Okay, yes, we are concerned about the coronavirus outbreak. Okay, and of course, at the same time, we are concerned about our health. Okay, however, those are not. However, some of people, okay, may experience the intense anxiety, okay, which can affect their daily life. Okay, so what can we do is that try to focus on the things that we can control. For example, our act, how we speak to whom we speak to, and then where we get information. Okay, from this slide you can see we can control our perspective. Okay, your and then control your friendship, your self-talk, your wellness. Okay, and then your work ethic, your gratitude. Okay, and then at the same time, okay, yeah, I know there are also something that we cannot control, right? Okay, but yes, if you cannot, I mean, there are something that beyond our control. So if that kind of thing, okay, affect your anxiety, affect your emotion, and also on, please, you need to ask the expert, or maybe you need to find, okay, try to find how, the way to deal with it. Okay, and then speak out. This one, please. Most of people try to keep, okay, what I mean, the worries that happen to them. So please speak out. Okay, talk about your worries, okay, with your trusted friend or your trusted colleague or anyone that you trust. Okay, it's okay. Okay, it's okay for you to share your concern with others that you trust. Okay, because maybe that people facing or experience the same thing. Okay, and then at the same time, maybe when we talk to them, indirectly we help them. Okay, however, if we cannot speak, okay, if we cannot share our worriness to people around us, maybe you can you can call, okay, the helplines. We have plenty of helplines. Okay, okay, this is one of it. I mean, two of it. Okay, mercy and so on. Okay, the psychosocial. Okay, which you can try to assess. Okay, and then plan practical things. Okay, then plan practical things. Okay, I believe that most of the employees, okay, after the MCO, they have lots of things to do. Okay, they have lots of things to do. I mean, need to be settled because during the MCO, there are some things that, I mean, some work that they cannot do. Okay, so need to plan it well. Okay, plan it well so that, we know, okay, what are the things that we need to do. However, please avoid spending too much time in planning, okay, because it can contribute, I mean, it can help to increase our anxiety and stress also. Make sure when you plan according to priority, okay, priority, and then to the less priority, okay, so that it will help you. And then this is the most important, which if you still work at home, for example, or maybe you have, if you still stay at home, or maybe you have, shift work and so on, okay, make sure you keep connected, okay, keep connected with your families, with your friends, with your colleague and so on, okay, don't be alone, okay, don't isolate yourself, okay, you can connect, you can contact them by using telephone, Facebook, video calls, Skype, and so on, okay, so that it will avoid the loneliness and isolation itself. Okay, and then make sure to eat well and exercise, okay, at least 10 minutes, okay, and then having a good diet, okay, so that you can improve the mental well-being. Okay, and then have enough sleep. For me, quality sleep, okay, so that it can maintain your good health, okay. Good quality sleep, of course, it can give a big difference, okay. When you wake up in the morning, okay, it will give you some good energy, okay, and then of course you can think well, and then you can focus well, okay. Make sure you try to maintain your regular sleeping pattern, okay. Okay, and then of course, to avoid thinking in order for you to avoid thinking, okay, or worry, okay, do something that you can enjoy or learn the new skill, okay. Maybe you can do something that maybe before this you do during your childhood, then maybe you can do it now, okay, if you have times, okay. And then we can see that during the MCO, everyone tried to bake bread, and then dalgona, and so on. Okay, so try to explore it. Okay, so that it can minimize our time on ring, and then maybe do some relaxation, which can help us to reduce our anxiety by using aromatherapy, practice visualization, take a walk, breathe deeply, listen to soothing music, spend time in nature, art therapy, and so on. Now, most of the company, okay, or resort or hotel already open. So maybe you can go there and have some vacation, for example. Okay, that's all. Okay, so this is the basic thing, okay, the way that we can do, okay, so that it can help us to face the challenge, okay. Although it's not only for the employee, but also those who are, those who are not, for the students and so on, okay. This is a very simple, a very basic things, okay, which actually we forgot to do, okay. So I think that's all from me. I will pass the floor to Mr. Tan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nurul, for enlightening us with the suggestions on how what the employee can do to face and cope with this pandemic. Okay, I still can remember what you talked just now, like what are the suggestions to cope with it, such as like keep connected, right? Speaking out, eat well, exercise, sleep well, do something that you can enjoy, learn new skill and relaxation. So I believe that all these things is like important to remind ourselves to do it, you know. Although this is something that maybe we know that this all can help us to become better, but most of the time we don't know how to do it and we forget to do it, right? So this is something like as a reminder for all of you, like maybe you can do something on it, right? So I believe more of us actually going through this critical time, right? Are you adapt to the situations, all right? So at the same time, I also have something crossed to my mind. Other than the challenges and solution for the employee, what about the challenges faced by the employer? Okay, I believe that it is also a critical decisions, okay, for a company to survive in this new norm. What are the strategies and also role can be done by the employer in these situations? Let's invite Ms. Sangari to provide her insight in these situations. Ms. Sangari, please. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Tan. Let me share my screen first. So let me begin my presentation with this meaningful quote. It says, the way your employees feel is the way your customers will feel. And if your employees don't feel valued, neither will your customers. So this particular quote simply says that the way we treat our employees and the way we value our employees will definitely be reflected in their behaviors as well as the way they treat our customers. And this would eventually be reflected in the success of our business and also the sustainability. With that said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sangari Krishnan. So I am going to talk about the potential issues that the employers might face and what are the possible measures that they can actually try to take or try to pursue in terms of dealing with issues during this pandemic. All right, so these are some of the possible issues which I have listed down. The first is referring to increasing cost and managing business assets, the need to manage business assets. Of course, at this point of time, we are facing a lot of issues in terms of cost, and we are trying a lot of ways in order to reduce costs. But are we really focusing on the necessary things? So that is what we need to really pay attention to. And the next potential issue is relevant to employee morale as well as mental health. This point is actually referring to employees' attitude, their motivation, as well as their behavior. The reason is because at this point of time, we have changed the way we work. We have changed the way we look at things. So this has definitely changed the overall outlook of employees. For example, previously we were working from office, and we tend to be more motivated, there are situations where we are being pushed to work, but now we are working from home. And most of the time, we tend to lose motivation because we don't feel like working. And even when I conduct my classes, some of my students tend to tell me that, Miss, I don't feel motivated because I'm learning from home. I wish I can come back to campus. So of course, all of us, we are facing this issue at this moment. So I would say that this has definitely affected employee morale as well as mental health. Some of us are also suffering from high level of stress, and some are depressed. So this has definitely affected employees' well-being. So this could be one of the major issues faced by the organization, because when employees are not in a good state of mind, it would impact their performance, which would also impact the organization's performance. And the next point is referring to conflicts. Conflicts here means the conflicts between managers and subordinates, as well as conflicts among co-workers. So previously, we tend to communicate face-to-face. We were at office, we tend to attend meetings, and we tend to go for lunch together, and we always meet people around. But now we have changed everything to online. Now we are meeting via Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and although we have this option to switch on video, but most of the time we don't do it. So I would say conflicts are arising because we don't really communicate like before. And not only communication related to work, we should also communicate in terms of building social relationships, and also having some casual conversation or chit chat with our friends or colleagues. But now it has really reduced as compared to before, because we are getting busier day by day, and we don't really prefer this online communication. So I would say conflicts are arising due to this pandemic. And another reason is because when we meet someone face to face, we can actually look at them, we can at least smile, and then the verbal, non-verbal cues can be seen. But when you communicate through email or when you communicate through phone calls, the emotions are not really being transferred. So sometimes we might misunderstand what the other person is saying. Just like by reading someone's email, we might feel it's rude, but maybe it's just an email, right? But although we have ways to construct proper email, but I would say we need to learn how to communicate effectively at this point of time in order to reduce these conflicts. Okay, and the next point is referring to work-life balance. I believe most of us are facing this issue in terms of balancing between work and life. Even before this, we might have gone through this issue, but now I guess it is even serious as compared to before, because previously we were working at office, maybe 9 to 5, we are at office, and then we come back home and we will fulfill all the other responsibilities as parents, as daughter, son, or husband or wife, but now we are working from home. From morning till evening, we are at home, and we are also fulfilling the demands of our family, and also trying to cope with our work responsibilities. So sometimes we do not know when are we supposed to work and when are we supposed to take rest. And we also do not know when are we supposed to start working and when are we supposed to stop working. So I guess we need to really find a balance between both. And now I heard from so many of my colleagues, my other friends, those who are working outside, they tend to say that now I don't really know whether it's a weekday or it's a weekend. So this statement itself says that we are leading a very imbalanced life. Okay, so no matter what, we have to ensure that our employees are balancing between work responsibilities as well as their personal life responsibilities. Okay, and the last point or the last potential issue that I would like to stress here is termination or layoff. I know most of the organizations are actually focusing on terminating and laying off employees at this moment due to increasing cost and lack of demand at this point of time. But is it really necessary? Because now we are focusing on terminating them due to increasing costs. But are we really thinking about the future. Future in the sense of, once we get back to the normal routine, once we get back to business, what would happen if we don't have sufficient employees? And at that point of time, we'll be like, okay, I need to start recruiting. I need to select new employees. And when you start recruiting and selecting new employees, you need to spend a lot of money. It is really a costly process. So that is why I have added these 2 points here regarding cost as well as managing business assets. When we say employees are also assets in terms of their knowledge, in terms of their skills, in terms of their experience, they are also our assets. So we must learn how to deal with them, how to actually secure or retain those knowledgeable assets. All right. So that's all for the potential issues. So although we have so many issues that we are facing right now, but for this short sharing session, I felt these are the most prominent issues that we need to pay attention to. So now, can anyone here tell me, what does this picture mean? Or how does this relate to my topic here today? Anyone? Mr. Tan, can you help me to check if anyone is typing? Or if no response, then I believe Mr. Tan can answer my question.
There's no response for now.
Okay, no problem. Would you like to try to guess how does this relate to my topic?
I think maybe some things like everything is about, it's not about the moment, but it's actually the moment and the future. This is what I can see from the big picture. I'm not sure whether it's all right or not.
Okay, that's nice. Anyone else would like to try? I guess there are some messages in the chat box.
Yeah, there's two reply here. One is talk about we create our own road. Okay. And then the second one said about looks like a good place to connect with self and nature.
Okay, that's
very
a
creative.
Nice one. That's very creative. All right, so let me tell you the truth. The picture here actually means that I am going to present the ways to deal with those issues that I have presented just now. So this way is actually showing or implying that I'm going to present ways to deal with the issue after this. Okay, so I was just checking if you guys are awake since this is an evening sharing session. So thank you for those creative answers, although that is not my meaning here. But anyway, thank you. So let's move on. Anyway, the participants are so creative, and thank you, Mr. Tan. Now, so the ways to deal with those potential issues. Okay, I guess most of the points that I'm going to present later can be found in order to solve those issues that I have presented just now. So the first measure is, of course, safety and hygiene. Okay, maybe previously we didn't pay much attention to this, but at this point of time, safety and hygiene is crucial to be taken care of. And the next measure is support and policy. This simply means that providing necessary support to employees and also updating our policies. So the employers or the organization need to make sure that employees are getting enough support as well as the policies are up to date. And the next point is productivity, or in other words, restoring productivity. I know previously we were working outside, like we tend to go to office and we were productive as compared to now. For some, they might feel like they are productive at home, but somehow we can't be working from home forever. As of now, we have already started to go to office, and we are slowly moving into the norm before, right? So we have to definitely focus on restoring productivity. So employers need to pay attention to this, because this is what the organization is trying to achieve, employee productivity. And the last point, and the most important point, is if let's say we are forced to lay off our employees, we need to make sure to at least do it in a very compassionate way. So rather than just firing them, we have to make sure that it is a very supportive and it is a very acceptable, it's a kind of acceptable process. So let's look at the first one, safety and hygiene. As I said before, safety and hygiene is the biggest focus as of now. So we have to ensure that all the safety measures are taken care of, and we need to also involve in deep cleaning, and we need to upgrade the standards of daily cleaning in the office or the at the overall organization. So we need to make sure that we provide hand sanitizers or face masks, whatever that is necessary to be provided in the organization. Okay, this might seem like a normal point, but the reason why I'm saying this is because IO is all about dealing with people at work, dealing with humans at work. So we need to ensure that they feel safe to stay in the environment, in the organizational environment. So due to this current pandemic issue, we might feel safe at home. But once we go out or when we enter into this building, into our organization, we might feel a little unsafe, and we might be wondering whether the organization has taken necessary steps to ensure safety. Okay, so in order to reduce all this fear, this kind of unsafe feeling, and which will eventually affect their productivity and efficiency, we need to ensure that we focus on safety and hygiene at workplace. All right. So my next point is providing necessary support and policy, updating policy. So support is in terms of social support. Although now we are focusing on just completing our daily tasks, just fulfilling the responsibilities given by, whatever responsibilities that we supposed to fulfill. But I do feel that we need to ensure that our employees are coping well. So for that, we can try to organize online webinar, or we can have some online yoga sessions, or if we notice that our employees are feeling stressed, we can also organize some stress management workshops. So this would actually make the employees feel valued in terms of like they might be thinking, okay, my employer is not only focusing on the business, but they are also focusing on my well-being. They are really concerned about how I'm coping during this issue and during this pandemic. And the second point is to provide mental health support as well as improve the medical coverage. The reason why we need to provide mental health support is because we can't assess every employee whether they are having some issues. If we have 1,000, 2,000 employees, so in order to take care of all of them, we can actually provide necessary resources in terms of where they can actually get support when they are feeling down, when they're feeling depressed, they don't know how to cope with this work from home initiatives and all this. Okay, and I guess organizations should also start to think about mental health leave. This is actually not a sick leave. Sick leave is something that you need to be approved by a medical practitioner or a doctor, and then you need the certificate. But for mental health leave, it is simply saying that, okay, I'm not really feeling good. I'm feeling really down. So I guess I need at least 1 or 2 days off to retain my energy and come back to work feeling refreshed. So I guess organizations can start to implement this mental health leave. And my third point is to encourage social interaction. In terms of returning to work, we can actually make it into stages where employees can choose which day they would like to go to work or go to office. So in this way, they can actually choose the days that their friends are also working into the organization. So this can actually improve social interaction. And of course, they need to maintain those social distancing and all these SOPs, but somehow they can actually interact with their friends whom they were not like seeing for the past few months. Okay, and employees can also administer survey to identify or to determine what are the employees' concerns, what do they really need at this point of time. Okay, and yeah, the next measure is restoring productivity. this is how we can actually bring back our employees to work. This is how we can actually make them become better or be productive than before. Okay, so since we started this MCO, we were working from home and our motivation is very low. We don't feel like doing this and that, and our time management is not okay at this moment. So we have to ensure that we start everything slowly, gradually or progressively. So what we can do is we can be flexible with work hours, at least for the first few weeks when employees start to work. And we can also let employees to work remotely for a longer period of time. Maybe we can add it in their contract and say, okay, since you're from very far, I guess you can work from home for some time. And then starting from January, then you may come back, something like that. We can be flexible in terms of making our employees work for us. And we should also keep up with workplace rituals only if it's safe to do, in terms of having virtual birthday celebrations, and then some costume traditions like, okay, we need to wear red on Tuesday. And then also to let employees get back to work according to their birthday month, something like that. Just any rituals that could get everybody together. And the last is to provide necessary resources so that they get back to routine. Like if we are doing online classes, staff should be given microphones, webcams, and all these necessary. So if you are asking your employees to do sales online, you should provide those necessary resources so that they could be productive. Okay, so now last but not least, it's the most important point that I would like to present today, which is about compassionate layoff. So of course, if it is necessary to lay off, we need to make sure that we are being transparent to the employees. No need to hide things because somehow you're going to terminate them. So it is better to be transparent, and we should also communicate with empathy. Rather than saying you're fired, you may say it nicely, like you should start from explaining and justifying the reason why you need to lay off, why you need to terminate them. Okay, and then you can also try to provide some help in terms of how to cope with this termination process. And if you know that other companies are hiring at this point of time, you may also share those new opportunities to them. So since you are the employer, doesn't mean that you don't need to share any job opportunities to the existing employees. Okay, and if possible, we need to also be generous with the benefits, the layoff benefits, because somehow we are laying them off. So it would be better to be generous with the layoff benefits in order to appreciate whatever the employees have done for us so far. Okay, and for layoffs, we need to also think twice before laying them off. If it is avoidable, then I guess we should look for other means of reducing cost rather than laying off. Right. So, in a nutshell, I would say that whatever issues that we face in the organization at this moment or in the future, I believe that communication is the most important aspect that we need to pay attention to. So we need to ensure that we communicate effectively with our employees in terms of asking or checking about their concerns or conditions, and also while communicating the issues to the employees. So we need to ensure that we always attend to their concerns, and we also try to fulfill their fulfill their requests. All right. So with that said, I would like to conclude my presentation with this quote, which says, "A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected." Which means when we value our employees, they tend to do more for us. It is like automatic. Whatever you give, you also get it back. So thank you very much for this opportunity and for the attention as well as the time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Sangari, in providing a better picture about how the employer can do to handle this crisis better, right? So I really love the quote that you shared to us today. The way your employees feel is the way your customer will will feel it, right? I think this is very well quote for me. Okay, so now we open for Q&A sessions. If let's say you have any questions or any feedback, any suggestions, you actually can just put in your Q&A in the column. Okay. Okay, so there is one question. I think this question I need to invite Dr. Nurul to answer. So as you present just now, you talk about domestic violence is actually increasing, right? Especially during this pandemic. So how actually an individual, especially working mother, whereby you need to juggle between the working environments, your family work, your family member interaction, all those things, how to balance them? So, Dr. Nurul, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tan. Okay, this question is really, close to me because I'm a mother too. Okay, and then I experienced, working during the MCO, which I need to work at home, okay, with my husband there. And then after the MCO, I need to handle my kids, okay, which before they go to the nursery, okay, and then my husband go back to, I stay at Ipoh, and then my husband go back to Selangor, okay, which I need to take care. Okay, luckily I live with my parents, okay. So for me, yeah, it's quite a challenging time, okay, for as a mother to handle. Okay, so it's not easy, but of course, for the first time you face it, okay, it's not easy for you to handle. Okay, you will feel some stress, and then sometimes you will get angry to your kids and so on. Okay, however, that's why we need support. Okay, we need to speak out. Okay, we need to talk to others. Although you are mothers, or although you are not a mother, or maybe, and then, or although you are single and so on, make sure you speak out. Okay, if you cannot handle, please tell. I mean, you call your husband, or you call your parents, or you tell your parent, your sibling, and so on. Please help me. Okay, I have something to do. Okay, try to try to consult with them. Okay, try to arrange with them. Maybe say, okay, at this time I need to done my work. Okay, please, I just need your help. Okay, for 2 hours. Okay, so make sure before we pass our children, our kids to others, okay, make sure we prepare everything. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, we prepare everything, so that they, at the same time, those who help our kids, okay, they will do it. They will do it happily because they know that the parents or the mothers already prepare, okay, the things. And then, of course, because you are working, sometimes, okay, of course you can, sometimes you can focus to your kids, but sometimes you can't, right? Okay, if you have time to focus your kid, focus. Then maybe when your kids, okay, sleep already, then you need to wake up, okay? You need to do your work, okay? You need to stay up, okay? In the middle of night, maybe you need to wake up early, okay? And then, of course, for example, if you don't have time to cook because you need to handle your kids, then just order online. There are Food Panda, Grab Food, and so on. Okay, just make a delivery. Okay, and then try to plan ahead, and then make sure what your plan, what is your planning, you try to share, okay, with your family members. No, please don't keep it, okay, on yourself. And then time management, and then try to enjoy, okay. Try to have a mind setting that that's the only time for you to, to be with your kids, okay. When they are grown up, then of course you cannot have a good time anymore, okay. So anything, maybe you can join the group, those who are working, okay, or those, maybe those who are domestic engineer, we call it those who are not working, working at home, okay, housewife, okay, they are working also, okay. It's not easy for them, okay, to handle the kids, okay. Okay, so maybe you can join, okay, the support, the group support, okay. There are too many group support, which if you read others sharing their things, okay, means that you will feel that, oh, you are not facing it alone, okay. Everyone face the same, face the same things, maybe more than that, more difficult than us. Okay, so for me, try to share, try to plan, okay, and then enjoy your life, okay? Enjoy your life, and then, of course, it takes time, okay? That's why we need to share, and then get the experience from others, okay? I pass again to Mr. Tan. Thank you.
Okay, can see that to be a working mother is really not an easy job. Yeah, I appreciate all the women here. Okay, so because of the time, we not managed to answer all the questions. So if let's say you have any question, you can actually email to us, or you can just jot down later. If let's say we have, it's possible, we will answer your questions. Okay, so towards the end, I just want to sum up everything. So the bring home message from today's the sharing. So I can say is that please seek help if the problem that you face has disturbing your daily functioning. And also as an employer, okay, need to be more caring and need to have a very, communication well with your employee. Okay, so this is very important. So with that, I'm so glad to have to be here today and gain useful information from our two panel, Dr. Nurul Iman and also Ms. Sangari, okay, on their viewpoint in overcoming the challenges faced by the organizations during and after pandemic from the psychological perspective. So I believe the information shared today could also benefit our audience in this webinar. Okay, once again, we would like to thank all of your attendance, questions, support in these sessions. Thank you, Dr. Nurul, and also Ms. Sangari for the time spent with us today. So thank you very much, and I will pass the floor back to Mr. Tam.
Hi, yes, thank you, Mr. Tan, and appreciate for Dr. Nurul Iman and Ms. Sangari. You have a precious sharing with us at tonight. So because they got plenty of questions they're not able to answer because actually we are now hit to the 9:30. So please share, spare us some time. Maybe we can send you some solution for questions by the email, maybe like tomorrow or the later on tomorrow. So now before we end for the webinar, let me go through different information sharing. So we mentioned that Mr. Tan, Dr. Nurul Iman, and Ms. Sangari is from Faculty of Art and Social Science. So before we go to the end, let me give a brief about our Faculty of Art and Social Science. Actually, what you see in the slide is what we're offering. There's basically the bachelor level, the study that we're offering. And we also have the postgraduate study that you can see that there's a Master of Philosophy from Social Science and Master of Psychology, Industrial and Organizational Psychology. And even we have a PhD in Social Science. So in fact, Mr. Tan, Ms. Sangari, and Dr. Nurul Iman have expertise with the IO psychology areas. So if you have any further inquiry about the IO psychology matters, you can just contact them or you can approach us for your inquiry. Okay, and as you can see on the slide, this IPSR. IPSR stands for the Institute of Postgraduate Study and Research. So if you're interested to go further in IO psychology area, you can contact us for the applications, admissions, or any other inquiries. Later on, we'll show you the contact methods from the IPSR, and this account. So if you happen to have the interested for the IO psychology with years of the working experience, when you enroll to the IO psychology, the master programs, you can actually use the FPLC for the credit or work transfer. It means that you can win like less subject during the master level. By this, once you enroll, you can approach the faculty for the further details for how to apply for the credit transfer. And we are probably announced that from the Times Higher Education's the Asia University ranking, Utah has been ranked at 119th at the year 2020. And for a university that established less than 20 years, this is quite a big achievement for us. So also we are thankful for our academic staff and our students that will help us to obtain such the achievement. And Yes, for application day. So if you have any other inquiry that you would like to have a face-to-face meeting with our counselor, for our advisor, or even our lecturers, you can just make appointment to visit our campus, both the campus and swing along, on 5th to 6th or 12th and 13th September at 9:30 to 1:30 p.m. Okay, so it is not only for the master and even for the foundations, undergrad, and others. So if you would like to visit us, please don't hesitate. Just make appointment with us. And last but not, we are sharing for the next topic we have. So the impact of COVID-19 on business and role of DNM in ensuring a conducive financing environment. So this is coming on tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So if you are showing interested for the topic, you can just register to our Zoom and just to register and just log in at 11 a.m. For the Zoom live. This is the last our contact. So if in the beginning we have mentioned about our Facebook page, so the live we are sharing to the Utah Facebook for our Facebook Utah for you as well. So after the webinar is done, we also share the recorded video to our Utah for you. So in the later moments, so if you have parents or any friends that miss out our webinar today and they would like to have a back view to our webinar, then actually they can visit to our Facebook page Utah for you for the recorded versions. And if you have any other matters would like to approach us, you can contact us through the WhatsApp. So this is a WhatsApp number we have, or WeChat, and even you can email to us. Is our email, the ipsr@utah.edu.my or postgrad@utah.edu.my. And we are going to finish our webinar tonight. And again, really thanks that to have you all together at here on the Zoom and the Facebook Live. So we see you again next tomorrow. And have a good night, sweet dream for you. Bye-bye.